Willkommen back to the Burnout Break Room, the pod. I'm just kidding.
Don't do that to me. Not fair. Well done.
Welcome back to Burnout Break Room, the podcast that's like a break room, but helpful, where we look at burnout through a realistic lens, talk about ways to take a break from the grind, and spill the tea. I'm Caitlin Truhella, creativity coach and speaker.
And I'm Lyndie Larimore, licensed therapist, certified career coach, and consultant.
And we're your hosts, and thank you for joining us here in the Burnout Break Room. How are you today, Lyndie?
Much better now that you surprised me with laughter. So I guess we're going to keep that in now that I just said I am not bad. I am not bad. I am trying to do a deep dive of spring cleaning that sometimes feels like climbing Mount Everest and sometimes feels oddly fun. So that's the brain space that I'm in right now.
I know I'm biased, certainly, but one of my favorite things to do when doing any kind of physical work, I actually did it on Monday, I think it was. I was listening to podcasts while I was washing my car. One of the like, chore related tasks that I absolutely despise. So it made it a fun experience.
Good tip. Good tip. So we're going to do something a little different today. Am I right?
Yes, I am very excited for today's game that we've put together. So, today we're going to do a game of buzzwords or BS, where we each have a list of buzzwords related to our field. I'm going to talk about corporate buzzwords and you from the therapist space. And so we have a list of real buzzwords and then fake ones that we've made up. And so we have to guess each one. And maybe we'll even talk about some fake words that maybe should be put into circulation.
I'm really excited about my list and I'm excited to hear yours. And I hope I can guess some correctly, but I've been out of corporate for a little while, so this might be a challenge for me.
Oh, not a problem. And yeah, I don't have a lot of experience in the therapy universe, but the more we learn, so I'm looking forward to it as well.
I'm going to be honest with you, most of these terms I didn't know either. So we're both learning. I'm excited for this.
All right. So, first of all, I'm thinking we can go one by one, and then the other person can guess if it's a, buzzword or BS. That way we can, keep it kind of quick. And of course, listeners can follow along and guess with us at home as well.
So our first term of the day is apophenia. Apophenia,
Hmm.
the tendency to perceive meaningful connections between unrelated things.
Let's see. With my experience in Latin, I'm going to say that is a buzzword.
You are correct. It
Woo!
is legit. It is a legit term. Uh,
Interesting.
Go Latin.
Apophenia. And just to reiterate, you said it was the tendency to essentially find meaning where there may not be any in
Between
communication.
unrelated things.
Unrelated things. Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I see a green tree outside here, and there's a chair right here, and they are both somehow connected. There's a deep meaning there.
Mm,
And that person feels very strongly that these are meaningfully connected, and they are not.
mm, gotcha. That could be really interesting in how it comes up in conversations. I could definitely see that.
The one we talk about more, and it's actually usually brought up as a diagnostic tool, is ideas of reference, which is something very similar, but specific to the person. So,
Mm,
kind of that person on the radio was talking to me today, or
mm,
that, this celebrity was doing an interview and they said this word, therefore they were clearly trying to communicate to me, or
Mm,
there are cameras in my wall because people are, like that's an idea of reference.
mm-hmm.
This seems very similar, but it's not, you're not a part of it. It's like two other things.
Right. Because there's a difference between how an individual shapes their own world of which they are a part of,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just seeing connections and drawing conclusions between other things.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And technically, like I feel like it's kind of, I would definitely have apophenia every time there was a full moon and I was working in community mental health.
Mm.
Everything was because of the full moon.
Hmm.
Like that person's, really struggling and needing a lot of support, full moon. I have a minor headache, full moon. Like it was just all because of the full moon, no matter what.
Right. I've heard very similar things from emergency room nurses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, we all get it around full moon time.
Yeah. In fact, now that I think about it, that sometimes was a common phrase when after receiving a string of strange and like disjointed emails at work, it's like you start to say like is it a full moon? Like what's going on with the communication here?
My favorite question is something in retrograde.
Yes, yes. The the classic meme. I think Mercury's in Gatorade or something.
I had that week
Nice.
like last week. Mercury was definitely in some kind of Gatorade last week. All
All
right.
right. Are you
Hit,
ready, Lindy,
I'm
for your buzzword or BS?
going to try my best.
Okay. Your corporate buzzword is inbox expectations.
Inbox expectations.
Hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and guess that this has something to do with maybe inbox zero, where people have expectations that their inbox will be at zero. Um, I want to say it's real.
This one's
Ah,
BS.
oh man. Can we make it real though?
Honestly, I think this is a really important perspective, especially when it comes to mental health in the workplace, because, yeah, I think inbox expectations can be harmful. Just because your inbox doesn't say zero doesn't mean you're not doing your job or you do it well. Everyone has different organization systems.
You heard it here, folks. For the first time, lower your inbox expectations to
Mm,
reduce burnout.
hmm.
Profound.
I suppose another way of like an alternative definition too would be the expectation that regardless of how much time, thought, and care you put into crafting an email that requires someone to answer a question, that you should never expect the recipient to outright answer your question because sometimes you will be met with disappointment.
Yes, that's a real safe approach to email communication. Expect that you will get zero answers, so when you do, it's a really great day.
Hmm.
Another way to
Or
lower your inbox expectations.
yes, exactly. So there we go. We've made it a word.
All right,
Round two.
round two. The McGurk effect.
Hmm.
And I can provide an explanation as to what it is.
Offhand, I have an answer in my head, but I would love to hear the definition.
When what you see can change what you hear, like hearing ba when seeing lips say ga.
Mm. Kind of like the Bill Nye the Science Guy experiment where they're doing the intro to Bill Nye the Science Guy saying Bill, 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 but then they keep changing the images to then it's a pail and then you hear pail, 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 pail.
Oh my goodness. Everyone should always be this excited about Bill Nye, the Science Guy. He is a gift to humanity and shaped my childhood. Um,
exactly.
I also had a minor crush on him, not a major one. It was like a professor crush on Bill Nye.
I'm so glad to know I'm not alone.
It's my first experience of sapiosexuality. It was Bill Nye the Science Guy and
Right?
and LeVar Burton.
Mm-hmm. It's reading rainbow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The we got a little bit of Bill Nye the Science Guy in my science class. I want to say that episode in particular was my sophomore year, and the quote "Pass the plankton, please" still has real estate in my brain, and I'm not upset about it.
The one that has real estate in my brain is when they were the episode on gravity.
Mm,
And so they did a lot of Star Wars jokes. And there
mm.
was one, use the force, and he's on a balance beam with large forks.
Hmm.
I am using the forks. And I just,
Ah.
yeah,
Nice.
it stuck with me.
Oh. It's that wholesome dad humor. I love it.
Yeah, very, very dad joke. All
Okay,
right.
the McGurk effect. I'm gonna say first, okay, here's how I'm gonna get there. Charlie McGurk is a character name in a song, a poem, and a piece of literature, one of which that I'm not remembering the name to. And from my English brain, I'm gonna say that's where it's sourced from, so I'm gonna say it's BS.
Incorrect. It's an
Aw.
actual, for real thing that I've never heard of. So I did Google the last one. It did seem to be correct. So I'm going to go ahead and say this one is for real thing. But I've never heard of it. So
Interesting.
we both learned something. Okay, my turn.
Okay, let me see here. Okay, this one's not a term, but a phrase. Move the needle.
That one I feel like I have heard, like IRL,
Hmm.
although in my industry of behavioral health, I think people always try to not use corporate jargon, but sometimes it like slips out.
Mm.
So I feel like I've heard move the needle used IRL. So I'm gonna say buzzword.
Ding, ding, ding. Correct. So
Yay.
this term, as you mentioned, is often used to talk about not just achieving results, but achieving measurable results. Oftentimes, results that look good on a resume or in a presentation to the board. I said it in my conference room voice.
It's a very important voice to have mastered. All right. You ready?
Hit me.
Contextual over assimilation.
Over, can you say the last part again?
Assimilation. I said the wrong assimilation.
Okay.
Contextual over assimilation.
Hmm.
I can provide a definition if you like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's a phenomenon where someone over applies one life lesson to completely unrelated situations.
Yeah, that sounds like my Psych 101 class. Because I know all about this concept because my brother, sister's dog's lizard's cousin broke their leg one time. And yeah. Hmm. As much as I love the subject of psychology, yeah, my feeling in that class was like, I respect you and I care about you, but we have a lot of material to go over. So if we can if we can stick to the topic, I'd really love that.
It's not the place to either process all of your trauma and or diagnose all of your friends and family. You can
Right.
feel free to do that
Right.
on your own time because we all did. Like that was the
Hmm.
first thing we all did in therapy school was like we're so excited to finally have diagnoses for every single person we knew. And they were all completely wrong, of course. But it was just such an exciting time.
Mm. But all this in consideration, I'm gonna go ahead and say this one feels a little redundant in terms of the naming structure. I'm gonna say this one's BS.
You're so good at this. Yes, it is total BS.
Two for
Total,
three.
total. Well done. All right. Hit me.
All right. This one's a phrase again. Boil the ocean. And I'll give you an example. Is a phrase commonly used when looking for right-sized solutions rather than allocating too much resources to fixing a problem.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I've never heard it, but it should be real. And I want it to be real so badly that I'll make it real and start to use it myself. So I'm going to will it into existence if it is not real and say that it's real. A buzzword.
Well, then your willpower is incredibly strong, Lindy, because it is real. Very often used, especially in tech companies. I very much agree with you that the concept is a great one to apply. Let's find right-sized solutions.
Yeah, it's great. I think my deep clean is trying to boil the ocean at this point. Well, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you posted. All right. Are you ready for your next?
Yes.
So this is another SARS. It's a lesser known version of SARS,
Hmm.
SARS,
Hmm.
spontaneous affect realignment syndrome. Would you like a definition?
Hmm. Yes, I think that would definitely be helpful in this case.
Yes. So it's when moods shift suddenly in a way that is kind of disconcerting for the people around the person, but also for the person themselves. Like it's just a very sudden shift and random. So not like something bad happened and therefore I'm sad. It's like suddenly
Mm.
it's the middle of the day and I just got sad or angry all of a sudden. That
Mm.
is SARS, spontaneous affect realignment syndrome.
So it sounds like it is a spontaneous mood shift, not stemming from any external stimuli.
Correct.
Mm.
Well said.
So I'm going to cheat a little bit at this one and assume that because you can speak to it off the cuff and with a little bit more background,
Mm-hmm.
and because I'm not, of course, I'm not going to diagnose anybody, but I feel like I've seen this in person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and say that it's real.
It is totally
Ah.
made up. Total BS. Not a
Oh, she
thing.
got me.
I
I got
got
got.
I'm pretty proud of myself. I lied hard there and just totally shooting from the hip. All of that was made up.
Nice.
I mean, I
Very
was
well executed.
thank you. Thank you. I was basically describing like it's called rapid cycling, like bipolar disorder rapid cycling is really what that is, but I like this I like this better. SARS, spontaneous affect realignment syndrome. I would also like to just call this PMS. That's how
Mm,
it shows up for me, where you're having a good day and then suddenly the world feels like it's ending for a week.
mm,
So yeah.
yes. Like my favorite soundbite right now on TikTok is I think the original came from like a game show scenario. And she says, "That's not fair. That's not fair. You're supposed to." I need to calm down. I'm an adult. Is that immediate switch recognition?
Yeah, that would be an example of SARS. I think we are going to make this a thing. I'm going to just call the DSM people real quick and say, hey, I've got one for you. Let's just throw that in
Mm,
and it'll be real. We'll will it
stop
into
the presses. We've got an update.
existence.
I love the phrase, especially like in 2025. I love using the phrase stop the presses because that doesn't really exist. I mean, yeah, we have, newspapers still in print. It's like seeing a payphone out in the wild.
Right. Yeah, yeah, I guess we still have to print things. Wow, I had to stop and ask myself, do we print things anymore?
Mm,
We still print things, Lyndie. Yeah, but still, do we print them
mm.
that way? I don't know.
Fun fact or fun side story. This is years and years and years ago. One of the funniest kind of like what the hell moments that I've had in in the corporate space. I had a boss who asked me to print out a PDF for them so that they could scan it. Yeah, just think about that for a second. And when they first asked me, I still remember that feeling to this day. It's like your brain locks up, and it's one of those things where you have to tell somebody that it happened, otherwise you just have to sit with this thought in your head by yourself, and it's like an itch you can't scratch.
So what did you do? Did you just like send him the PDF and say, I did it? Or did you do it just to do it? Like, how did you handle that very precarious situation?
So my office was fairly close to theirs, so I know they'd be able to hear whether or not like something was printed. So I quote unquote printed a blank piece of paper and then sent him the PDF.
And he had no idea.
Nope.
Oh, oh, God bless him. Bless his little heart.
And even though like again we were that close, we can hear each other, he could have just shouted around the corner like, "Thank you." E- Reply all, "Thank you." Ah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, the memories. All
All
right.
right. I believe it is your turn.
Okay. Is it?
Plie.
Okay. Yes. Plie
Mm-hmm.
as a not a ballerina term.
It is a ballet term, but when used in the context of the corporate space, it is essentially used to talk about the graceful and diplomatic way of dealing with a difficult situation. So, in
Hmm.
other words, you're dancing the dance of being or maintaining diplomacy
Hmm.
and doing it gracefully.
Could you use it in a sentence?
I'm going to need you to plie through this press release.
I'm gonna say no. That feels like too easy somehow and like
Mm.
something I've never heard before. So I'm gonna say it is BS.
And you'd be right because that came from my brain.
Yeah, you're also a great liar. Congrats. Well done.
Thank you. My ballet days, yeah, still hold real estate in my brain. Thankfully, it was I when I was I think 7, 8, and 9, I took ballet, tap, and jazz. Super fun.
Oh, I wouldn't mind doing that as an adult. Okay, I've got one for you.
Okay.
Chronological displacement bias, which is basically the belief that the time period that you grew up in, or like the group that you're a part of. So boomer or millennial or Gen Z, like that's the best way to be. Like how whatever traits that generation has is the
Mm,
those are the best traits.
mm,
So chronological displacement biases. I am a millennial, therefore everyone, the only way to do things is the millennial way.
mm,
So the bias being that like, so like in life or in a workplace, you can end up uh basically displacing the people around you who aren't part of that group or that generation.
mm. And then all of those perceptions and behaviors are filtered through this idea that whatever your generation or like segment that you were born into is being compared against.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. So anytime you hear someone roll their eyes and say boomers, it's chronological displacement bias.
Gotcha. So I don't want my memory to betray me here, but I could have swore I remember reading about that specifically in Simon Sinek's book, Leaders Eat Last, where he specifically talks about not only why different generations display different behaviors and definitions of a good workplace is not only because of their generational differences, but how environmental factors influenced them while, when in the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
So, at least based on that reasoning, I am going to say that it's true.
You know what, Caitlin? I wish it was because it's actually a really great term. It is completely made up.
Oh man.
I feel like it would be called something different, like
Mm.
generational bias, I think is what I just described. But
Hmm.
I like chronological displacement bias.
It is interesting too, because especially when you look at it through through the lens of displacement, it's more than just a bias. It's also I've because it sounds like it's also rooted in that same mentality of my experience is normalized and, not being open to understanding the different environments and effects that come into play in other people's experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I did 100% make that up.
Well, that is a good one and should definitely be in use.
That part of it I made up.
Mm,
Yeah, for sure.
well done. Well done. All right. Here is another one for you. Pivot.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like that's one that's over a term that's overused in corporate settings. I feel like that's a thing. I don't know that I've ever heard it. Yeah, yeah. Like we're gonna go ahead and pivot onto this next subject in this meeting to get people to like, I feel like I hear that word when people in that moment in a meeting where we've gone beyond this is an interesting conversation to we are now overthinking this. I feel like that word
Mm,
comes up.
mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say it is a buzzword.
And you would most certainly be correct. And honestly, this one like applies in several different cases because when you look at because I also think of the use of a pivot table, which is one reason why I didn't go directly into a definition for all the Excel and analytic girlies out there.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. So another one for you. Capgras delusion.
What's the first part again?
Capgras delusion. A belief that someone you know has been replaced by an identical imposter.
Hmm. Well, first of all, just offhand, when you said capgrass, I immediately thought of what was it, Mad King George III? He's eating grass. Ah.
Exactly. So I did
Hmm.
suspect this as
Hmm.
I was saying it out loud. It is pronounced Cougar syndrome. I was like, this cannot possibly be the way that this is said. Cougar syndrome,
Oh, so kind of like coup de grace. Okay.
but
Hmm.
spelled differently.
Hmm. Hmm. This is
Oh
also
no,
interesting.
sorry. Cougar. Cougar. I think it's French. Cougar. Yeah.
How is that part spelled?
C-A P is in Peter, Gras. Cougar. Oh, this is saying Cougar. I don't know.
Hmm.
What? Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it. That's that's what we were learning. There's 85 different ways to pronounce. I'm going to say Capgras. Capra.
Okay.
That's because I
Okay.
think it's French, so I think it's going to be Capgras.
Hmm. Okay, so I've only been
Capra.
learning French for about a month now,
Capra.
so I don't want to over rely on this.
A belief that someone you know has been replaced by an identical imposter. So it's the thing where like people are like, you're not you anymore. You've been taken over by aliens. Like it's like a
Mm,
delusion.
mm-hmm. But see, historically, especially like in referencing me overthinking this very fun and silly game. It was my understanding that in terms of the like original folklore and like fairy tales, the whole doppelganger concept came from like old German folk tales. So In terms of the concept, I feel like that is a real thing because I've heard of it before, and also because I think that the Twilight Zone old TV series was very much based on facts in some ways to kind of support some of their stories. So I'm gonna say the concept is real, but the word is wrong.
Yes, the concept is real. The word was correct. I pronounced it incorrectly because I forgot French. Capgras syndrome is named after Joseph Capgras, a French psychiatrist
Ah,
who first described the disorder in 1923 in his paper co-authored by Jean Reboulachot. They described the case of a French woman, Madame Macabre, who claimed that corresponding doubles had taken the place of her husband and other people she knew.
ah. First of all, how wonderfully spooky is that? Like
Right?
what a badass name, Madame Macabre.
Again, I'm learning. I've never heard of this. I probably should have paid more attention in graduate school.
Well, it's interesting too that, that was coined, because 1923 isn't even that long ago.
No,
Hmm.
about 100 years ago. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I wish it was fake because it would have been brilliant for me to mispronounce it as a fake thing and just go with it. I thought would have been cool, but I'm not that good at in the moment yet.
It's all good. And honestly, it wasn't until I want to say it was probably after I learned a little bit of Latin, because I tried learning different languages before, especially in terms of the pronunciation. In another life, I definitely would have been a linguist. But for some reason, up to that point, French, like learning the language, it just did not fit in my brain. And reading it felt like reading hieroglyphics. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I remember that experience very well.
Oh yeah, me too. French 101 in undergrad. I was like, there's no way any of these combinations of letters will make any sense to me ever. And then one day you're like, oh, that's this word. It totally makes
Mm,
sense. Yeah. Probably like everyone else in looking at English because it makes no sense.
mm. Well, especially since English is, such a combined amalgamation of, all the other languages. It's
Right.
fascinating. All right, enough tarrying. The last one for today
Mm-hmm.
is mouser.
Mouser.
Hmm.
Do you have a definition?
Yes, I do. So, in a work from home environment, a mouser is any tool, software, or approach that allows you to continuously move your mouse, making it look like you are active on your laptop.
I mean, I feel like in the pandemic, this was a huge discussion. Like the people who would just like wiggle something so that it would look like when they started to do tracking software. Yeah, that sounds like a real thing. I'm going to say it is a buzzword.
Unfortunately, this is not a real term.
Oh, you totally got me. You got me.
But in concept, definitely true.
So this was a lot of fun, Caitlin. Thank you. I've learned a lot. We now have a bunch of things that we're going to make be real because I think they were all brilliant, actually, and we should incorporate all of them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've definitely got my notes. I'll be in touch with the authority is on corporate jargon
Hmm.
and can contact the DSM.
Hmm.
And I look forward to seeing your name in the acknowledgments of the next edition.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. We're going to take over corporate and psychological spaces with these wonderful terms.
Lyndie, when you are not in the break room, where can people find you?
You can find me at lindylauramore.com if you want to learn more about my work as a career coach and burnout coach and my consulting work. And you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Lyndie Larimore. But also, please check out our Burnout Break Room pages on Facebook and Instagram and Threads
Hmm.
and TikTok. Caitlin, where can folks find you when we are not in the break room together?
So people can find me at editsingreen.com. And they can also find me on basically all the socials, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. Yeah, so everything from creative coaching, if you're looking for ideation sessions, and I do book editing as well. I love conversations with authors and artists in every stage of their journey.
All right, Caitlin, I'll see you next time.
Until next time.